back off. Yeah, so maybe
Absolutely, and
maybe they didn't get time to change the jeweler switch over. Who knows? 2G, sorry, G2 on defense, LEV on attack.
From Leviathan as we are now.
I did it earlier, I did it now.
And he's got a little bit of work to do on the right side of the map as the team's pushing mid.
Yeah, so far Leviathan also, not only do we have a Neon
2G, I got 2G on the mind.
Playing the Tejo and Breach, which they actually didn't really pull out here on kickoff. They were playing the double controller with a raised KJ, so a lot has been in the works from the coaching staff, and as well as Rossi, currently back on the role of the IGL. And calling right now the push from Demon 1. So
Smoke creates a lot of pressure, and you would imagine with that they have numbers over towards B main, so that they can pivot if they wanted to be. That kills Lovely. Good way to start it up.
It looks like it's going to be a pretty easy plant here as G2 set up for the retake.
And G2 might be a little bit slow here to try to work back. You don't have the salvos, you don't have the fault line, but there is contact towards the pit.
It's a great stun.
Here comes the Tejo salvo.
Oh my god, Trent still got one.
Does get the anchor kill. A little bit of a hold lurk by Tex. He's going to be able to come in late on the site if the team can't do it, but King already says crown me as they go another one on this, and it's now G2 just lurking around trying to find these last hits if they can even get the defuse down.
I mean, they're in perfect positions now for LEV to win this round.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Just absolutely every angle from
okay, recovery is good in the end. Nice pistol. 1-0.
From the woodwork, and they take the pistol round here on Lotus.
That's definitely the start that you want here on the side of Leviathan. Just mentioning once again, reiterating 8-0 for G2 on this map. And it's a pistol round that was actually very well executed on the side of Leviathan. Maybe there's a little bit of tape going on as well to see G2's aggression that they like to bring out here towards that mount, tapping into or trying to manipulate these rotates. But they didn't anticipate the Demon 1 lurk just behind the Viper defensive wall that surprises them on their first blood and also weakens up the A side. And now Leviathan with this composition will continue to work towards the A side to start. We've seen at least
no,
from
not
Cloud9
used.
here during our couch segment last week or 2 weeks ago with this neon wall that's really good to put towards the
This looked weird on the minimap.
Maybe that's something here that
They're like one of those where they paused just as the barrier went down.
Yeah. And having a lurker like that, having somebody push around the map is not something.
Okay, when you don't see the insta-Teo missiles though, you definitely got to be thinking that they're going to do some kind of punish.
So to have Demon 1 off on his own here is throwing G2 for a quick loop, and we'll see how fast they can adapt. Just second round
doesn't clear close left. So we can see minimap wise, C is really open. Gets a little bit quiet, they need to get some info, so smoke goes in, salvo swings.
They're just waiting for the first contact to come through, realizing that it's way too quiet towards B and A site, so you just rescale. When you think you're at the minute mark, there's players pushing forward.
They're in a nice spot.
They at least turn out every stone towards that C site with the flashes. It's
You'd love for LEV to win this.
For G2 right now is this triple
I mean, it would be fun.
You're
not wrong.
Jonah P. And trying to get some exits, but it's Tex waiting for them here.
It would have to go pistol bonus, maybe even twice, without the Byron spin looking for these teams.
Has one to get in. A good look here by Tex. He's not going to have much protection after the first two shots here, so they may lose one unless there's a quick trade.
Again, LEV should have had really good practice because they were all like running off a high off of that win. We saw it in the interview when they were on the desk or the sofa, couch, whatever.
Works out for LEV.
Chaos ensues. Oh, of course, Jog.
Well,
stunned up, still gets
that's a lot of damage.
On the other end of the map is going to be able to get another kill. Jog does go down to the spike as a second round is picked up by LEV. Great damage, though, by G2.
Superb damage actually pulled out by G2.
Yeah, they nearly got them all.
They wanted to show themselves, and they weren't in a position to die to spike. They really just wanted to make it very expensive for Leviathan on the escape outside of the C site. Yeah, you lose player in the process was a couple of Leviathan members pushed out towards that C side on the top of the spawn. But man, they already dropped 4 players down, and Demon 1 had like sub 50 HP. So they're looking pretty good here for their gun round for G2 against a mediocre bonus from Leviathan. Yeah. They still invested heavily though into this one. With
I mean they get 3 guns.
3 rifles with the half shields.
They
so they have to be fairly
the FPX buy on this.
And it starts off well. They're pushing Leaf away with a dink through the wall.
Okay, in reaction to losing C, we got insta drone out over towards A, but
online and
yeah, it's looking like it didn't spot anyone because
a little bit of forward position.
Nah, he must have shot it.
Allow the extremities to play safer. He's got a bit of a line on mid. But yeah, seeing what LEV can do here, seems like a lot of that patience is now, a lot of the slow play, I should say, for them feels better because they have Demon 1 to then explode onto the site.
And it's a huge start for Leviathan to pick up this Tejo ult and at the same time tapping on the door to try to force rotates over. But look at it instead. They're pulling away from the A site to continue to stack towards C. And Leaf also makes it very difficult for Leviathan.
Big Joe coming up for Jogamo as well. What is that?
Always on point, cannot be taken off. Jogamo gets a kill there as King is able to trade back, and that will activate in towards C. There was a lot of areas that Demon 1 can't stand, but he found
Oh my goodness, this util dump is...
Stunned up. Jog gets another one.
It's mad. Don't even know where you're meant to stand at that much util dump. Com does have his ult, obviously not to be used in this round unless they somehow get 2 kills.
Pushing, double stack already here. He goes around the corner, but 3 is going to be a crowd, and that's way too many for Demon 1.
Yeah, one more kill would be awesome for them.
Com has to create 3 1v1s here, and it's going to be so tough with all the penetratable walls, rather. Okay. And Baron's going to get that kill. Frag and IGL comes up with the last one to make sure the bonus round goes.
Trent won away, but they have Com's ult here, so you would imagine they would go aggro over towards A, potentially for the ult to have the same ult.
Such a good composition to flood back into these sites. So making sure here that they're playing the long game within these rounds for G2. Very comfortable in the retake scenarios as well. And they didn't even need to play the biggest retakes, as they already dropped 2 players in the process, as Leviathan was still scrambling to execute towards the C site finish. It didn't necessarily look like it would have finished towards the C site if Leaf was not able to get a pick in the first place. But now Leviathan, you see that they could still afford another buy. Rifles for another time. The tail's still available. But the lean this time is still towards C, so no more of the contact play towards the A side. The lurk is still onto Tex on that side.
And there it is.
But look at this exploration that continues on this front B side.
Still kind of just watching Tex over towards A.
G2 could actually
very aggro.
4 angles and faster rotates in that way.
It's one of the things you'll always see about G2, especially Jogamo on that Yoru, is that he's active. That gate crash is going to be him peeking for safety. Or
yeah, this is interesting. Trent didn't pick up the orb over towards A as well, so they don't have the ult for this one.
Neon pushing a little bit more as Demon 1 looks to get even more info.
Dude, the Omen Flash for Omen Flash, the util battle is kind of insane right now.
They aren't just going to get full flanked.
Counterpreneur was good though, so now everybody's turtle inside the site for Leviathan. Crossfires have to be good.
Oh, so much util coming in. Clean shots can't be had. It's all has to be done through this util right now. Spams through the smoke to start us off. Com getting a few kills
trades
there on
and
the ramp to
routes.
water. As Rossi is in the back of the site, trying to avoid Armageddon. 1v2.
Nice shot from Trent.
Finds him over the wall. G2 pick up another one.
Oh, the trades are good here. The util's good.
To Leviathan, the way that they played.
It's so impressive watching G2's util,
with the neon wall coming up to counteract and not allow G2 to move so
especially on this map.
Leviathan actually stayed around the pillar and tried to play the trades.
Great ult to push him out in front, as well from Trent.
The flood continued to be very good on the side of the defense. And now Leviathan will be on an eco. Best thing they got here is potentially the overdrive out of Demon 1 if they want to
force them down to an eco, so
and that's where they're currently grouped
2 for 2 buy rounds.
They found some success in the very beginning on that pistol round. Now against rifles might be a little bit of a different story.
Okay, so maybe Texas called him out over towards A, saying that they're literally just droning out and taking it. Like, it's been 2 rounds where they can take it for free.
They ran that round 7 in a row against NRG before they finally lost 1. They are playing the if it's not broke, don't fix it strategy a lot of the times for G2. And now mid-controlled here for Tex, just trolling about, seeing if there is a push. As it looks like we may get another C hit. They have been doing orb focus, so it might be that to start off.
The drone's going to be up here potentially at that minute mark from Com to clear out towards that mound. And now that it's open, try to get the control of the orb to move forward, but nobody really answering that
Shower Natty with the tier 1, thank you with the 13 months, bro, appreciate that. Oh, year and then some, thank you. And Adster as well with the tier 1, appreciate that as well, mate. Thank you for the 23 months, almost the 2 years. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, Leaf, a little bit committed, might have a...
So you see the walls coming up here as well, will they want to try to get this orb too?
might have a supportive flash as everyone from G2 comes over as soon as the door gets opened.
I think they want the door on this one, but Leaf's gonna be ready.
God, the trades are just insane on this one.
And now it's just Demon 1 left to work that overdrive, as you said. He's got so much to do, so much on his plate here, and he's only gonna start seeing more members. Another one goes down, creating the 1v1.
Oh man, well that's a wild shot though.
Take the Demon down.
It's a great shot from Trent to hit that.
It took a bit, but they finally took down Demon 1.
Demon 1 did very good to isolate a lot of 1v1s there. I don't know Gots with the 14 months as well. Thank you, thank you. It's a country I'd like to visit soon. I want to go Japan, man. Honestly, everyone says that Japan's great. Probably like the one that I want to do. 25 Cora, sorry dude, I didn't mean to miss that. Did the prime. Appreciate the 2 months as well.
Keeping the econ low as much
Sorry,
as they can
25.
against G2 as they start off with a pit on the C site for Leaf. But so far it'll be okay for Leviathan. All of them still one.
Come to Australia, dude, it's such a long flight, man. That's the killer.
Not as explosive with this type of composition that you're currently seeing.
Not that Japan's not a long flight as well, but
the breach neon wall, and you're being fairly quick on the control towards the A side. But they are actually trying to utilize Texas wall first, and maybe use the neon wall for the last minute execute. But
right,
we haven't had a chance to see that yet. A lot of these fights on the A side have been towards this line right here, where Demon 1 has taken control of by the baby door.
They almost have to fundamentally
Well,
change
goes
the
in,
way
but
they
G2 have
play
done a
here,
good
right?
job
With
to have
King,
control of B,
Demon
and
1's
they're
gonna
probably
keep
going to
going,
know
even
that
if
this
they
is
don't get on
fake. I'm
that
surprised the
util,
Omen is...
so
Okay,
whether to be selfless
I was
or
going to
use
say,
that
I'm surprised the
util
Omen's
for
actually like
yourself
buying
here
this with
is
this
really what
util.
LEV is going
Dude, I
back and
love
forth
this
with.
though
They
from
seem to be
G2.
managing well. Now
Like,
that Demon 1's
they're
back on
faking over
Lotus,
towards the B,
they're still
and
giving
then we
him
just
room to
have
work
this
by
push.
himself for sure.
Hey, what would be awesome? Okay, now to go B from that.
Now takes
Oh, it's
down
worked
Joglo,
well.
so he gets a bit of his own medicine.
Oh, it's worked really
They're
well.
finally hitting B here, Vans.
Yeah, there's that wall to move up here and try to get the safe plant towards this B site. The tail missiles are going to miss, so it should be an open plant for Leviathan.
Yeah, already on top site heaven though. Trent looking, trying to get some spams through. The Vandal doesn't make it easier since you see all the tracers. And look at all the way to the right. You have Rossi hanging out. They have so much coverage here from safety before they get back into a full retake from the attack side if they need to. Smokes go down. To destroying the options that G2 have to get back in this one by also taking out their members.
I mean, this was a nice round. The fact that Tex wins that though, that kind of changed the whole round really. This 1v1, if it goes the other way, would have been weird if they proved over towards B, not having any kind of map control here.
What their mistake was in the previous round.
Still pretty nice though that Valen had a little heads up play to turn around and get that kill onto Demon 1.
The money's not crazy good for G2.
For Leviathan to understand that lurk.
There's a couple that either have the light armor or they might be tempted to eco. We'll see.
We mentioned a few rounds ago
Or low
because of
buy.
that.
Yeah.
You'll be able to come back and actually push more towards these B positions. He actually did get good control here on a pick, and big congrats now to Demon 1 after that last round, now reaching the plateau of 1,000 kills in the VCT Americas.
So much. I'm so glad.
Avid Armadillo as well. Thank you so much for the 2 months.
Feels right. It feels right.
Finish being a student and have a job.
Right with him as
Bob, thank you so much. Congrats as well, bro. Appreciate the tier 1, Avid.
Little drone check. They are not afraid to leave Leaf by himself.
Yeah. And just wanted to finish that sentence well from Joglo pushing forward again and punish right away towards that B side. So with him being watched by Tex on that previous round, that might change G2's look on how they want to execute and fight back here on the retakes against Leviathan. Because Jaw is usually so good to create.
Lev kind of playing nice.
Under the chaos. And for 2 rounds has been like a push lurk. They might need him in these scenarios.
Okay, they're now going to go back over towards B and give themselves the option as well.
Normally has a little bit more ground gained here. It feels uncomfortable that they don't know what's on the other side of those walls at this point.
Yeah, a lot of question marks at the moment. There's so smoke on top of their smoke that they want to keep this smoke for a long, long time.
Yeah, nicely played around the map here. They should just be able to waltz in and they'll know it soon. Get that spike planted.
This time it definitely worked.
Shot. Texas. He's hitting him.
Lower buy from G2, so you just want to make sure you have a lot of players to try to trade out. They've been so good in these moments when they have stinger buys for the side of the defense, but not this time around.
Took the fight in the salvos, looking to push himself forward there. The spam, though, just outside kept him in the salvo longer than he wanted. Beautiful kills, however, and Valen now last alive here as he rotates over.
It's very, very nice.
On this one is
Wonder if G2 will call a timeout.
There's
a couple of times where like this smoke gets invested.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm not even sure. It's been mixing up all the time. The only thing that I would think of is if you call a timeout, you want to like stop them from getting A control, because they're so good right now at like creating pressure around the map when they take A control that like you don't really know where they're going.
And then go for the full explosion and fight back towards these.
You've seen enough. Give me the Rossi interview.
They've been doing a good job shutting it down.
Yeah.
Dude, the interview here, if they won this one, would be going crazy.
And that is going to be a timeout.
Okay, well, there's a lot of talk about A right now, and I think they want to go aggro A. But it might be too obvious, so maybe they just go for a punish over towards A, we'll see. Definitely the main thing is going to be the talk about A control at the moment. LEV are doing a really good job at making A control just mean so much in terms of how much they're pressuring around the map.
G2 in the past, last week when they had a very dominant victory against Energy, a lot of the players have been praising the addition of Anders and what him and Josh RT bring to the table here to help G2 have some clean games, but so far it hasn't been as clean.
Yeah.
On their best map so far of Lotus, Leviathan came in with good preparation, a brand new composition, and are definitely bringing the fight over on G2's end.
It's changed their persona completely, right? With King not being as aggressive, not taking as much space on the Yoru and playing more for the team in rotations.
Okay, G2 at least have a lot of ults.
How to battle against Demon 1.
We can see over towards A.
A player in this squad, they have
okay, they are going aggro.
Now, no footage of how they've played.
Insta salvos, insta stun.
I think it's a really great change in the mentality.
No, not insta. Yeah.
And so far, there's Demon 1 with sick aim. Because I haven't seen too much util going around to assist him to get to forward spots. He's just in
instant reaction. No, this is nice though. You can't really instant react against the Yoru.
As a cracked aimer,
makes a lot of sense that G2 have been going or want to go for this.
Gonna try to do that again.
I like this from LEV though, right? We're 20 seconds in. They realize they're going aggro A. They get B, C control.
Look at that, shooting the drone for him. He's just aiming the whole time. Like his focus is headshot.
Okay,
level
so now after doing
this
normally the next step is to reclear A.
Yeah, he has a lot of support around him for any utility. So they back off of this one.
How are they doing this one?
Looks like they will head towards A, but now it's going to be
drone, stun.
Back to the comm flanks.
Going over towards C, but now they just realize that it's a one-person fake. Stun goes in. Yoru still in spawn. He has got a TP away. Okay, Jogmo actually getting out of there. And dude hit his head. This was nice as well. Like Leaf managed to get a lot of space off of the Yoru going into the corner.
Each extremity and shut down LEV on their own side.
30 seconds
Thankfully,
left.
Rolling Thunder still available for Rossi. They could try to explode into the site and leverage once again Demon 1, who also has a stun to move forward into the C site.
Trying to get through this util unscathed. A little tough. The damage won't be there, just the stuns. G2 perfectly ready.
Oh my goodness, what is that? Anything to stop the plan after this? Any salvos? No.
Few seconds. Spike's gonna go down on this one. 2v5.
Okay.
Looking almost impossible here.
Good luck.
More shots towards
very nice, man.
Duck is headbound, but he cannot dodge the last shots.
I like this from G2 a lot. Read the aggro A, made a lot of sense with what was going on. And then when they realized they had like lost here and here, this Yoru ult was pretty cool because most teams would be grouping up to re-clear over towards A, so they could kind of isolate this and then they could take all of that space back. Good news for LEV is they can work out how they want to approach over towards A now, because you would guess they're going aggro A again. So now you can try and play around the fact you know they're going to go aggro A. Also, they've got a lot of ults.
And it was just a nice little stuff to push him back towards.
Yeah, let's see. Insta salvos.
Very, very good defensive round here from G2.
Salvos, insta stun. Demon 1 has got to run an absolute gauntlet.
Get away from his own teammates on that one, and then he went
yeah,
into
and
the
if that's their nice shot.
Okay, Tex with the Viper.
That's their way of dealing with the A stuff, then they're in trouble.
All right. Still where they buy guns, looking to keep these pushes out of play. And why not? You just had Rubble pushed up on, Mound pushed up on. So they're looking to get those
Clear
early
over
kills with the
towards
aggression
B.
of G2.
Bots tax
Big
far
round
back.
for the side of Leviathan. 3 ults to work with as well.
Yeah.
So that might be part now higher up on the priorities to use them to entry towards that site.
They have quite a bit of the timing here. G2 actually does not like their positioning on this situation now that they
Keep an
realize
eye
how
on,
many members are there. Just in the
Jogamo.
coattails of Tex. Oh, he can't get away. Jogamo finds
And he got
him.
info.
So
There's
close to being safe
at
there.
least one extra
Jog has
there.
that timing.
Another one where G2 is using Jogma to push forward to actually catch one this time around. As I've mentioned, because they have big ults on the side of Leviathan,
Wonder if
they might
Valen
wanna
would
stay
use his
grouped up
Omen
here
ult
go
soon
for
to
the
get
full exit
info.
behind it, since they've lost Demon 1.
30 seconds left.
Thankfully, they still have King alive to go for smokes, even after losing Tex in the process. And it's a walk
Right.
contact to try to work towards this B side and Trench just
Gets
ready.
info again every single time they
Like,
like get
one
that
shot
extra
knows
little bit
there's
of
more,
info
gets
that
out
someone
for the
else is
safety
there
of his team,
without getting traded.
plays with a strong
Salvas to stop the
strategy here.
plant at the same time they're
Salvos
opening the
dumped to
doors.
bottom
Like
side of the site,
great
but they still find
stun.
Trent. Rossi
10
pushes
seconds
forward,
left.
expecting nobody else to be there.
Last
Turns for
player
the flank.
standing.
He's right on Jogamo, but it's not the correct shot. Ooh, shoulder. Jog
so
shows
nice
that he
from
just
Jogamo.
baits it in, so
Didn't want to
Valen
give
can
him
walk
anything,
into the
especially with the
win on
time.
round. 5-4 now. G2 take that lead.
Very, very
Jogamo
good.
did
Nice once
great
again
in
by
this
G2. Okay,
round.
the game plan after the timeout from Josh
They're
RG.
so proactive over
Don't give a
towards
chance
C
here
in
for
reaction to
Leviathan
the
go
A
for the
stuff.
full exit to try to move up towards the extremities of
That's
any
what the
of these sites
timeout's
to
going to
try
be
go in.
about as well.
They went for a triple push at the middle mark towards Rubble.
They got
To
options.
get these picks, to
They
keep them at bay
either
and try to activate
like
as much as
invest
they
the
could on
wall when they
Jogamo
go
lane.
aggro over towards A to dodge the
Very
salvos and
ballsy
maybe
for
get
him
a
to
bit
do that
of
because you know that the one
free
watching that
space
flank
either in
was
front
that
of
beautiful
Rubble
pop shot
or
that we saw from
in the
Trent
corner
earlier,
near where the
from
orb
Tex
is
earlier
or
on.
in front of door.
Over towards that C site.
Or they like fake the A and wait for C push.
Yeah, we were just as surprised. Okay, Lev's going to be calling a timeout here to
There's a
see
lot
what
of
they
stuff
can
they can
get
do.
sorted out. The operator, I'm trying to look what Tex has. So they still got a bit of money, but they may have to go for a lower buy for him on this round. So they did have the economy for it. It was a
Is
bit
Lev
out
playing
of
well? No,
box,
they are
but
playing pretty well.
Almost turned around
Yeah.
the game before them on that, or turned around the round, I should say.
Definitely feel it was a nice little surprise for Tex to bring out the ult before, but
They,
coming out of this timeout, I
they
feel that
honestly
they
should have won
probably
this
to
one.
Use some rifles around.
Oh, yeah.
Again, they've been holding on to these big ults for the last few rounds, including this one here. I think it's
I'm
2
worried
rounds so
now
far.
though, like
Using a pit on
now
the
they don't
execution
get
to kind of use.
scary. Sorry, now they
Why
don't
with this
get
type of economy
A
that's
control.
A little bit lower on the side of Leviathan.
like
Yeah,
does it
opting
does
for
their
a
whole stuff
stinger
fall
this time around
apart
to play inside
if they
that
can't
pit.
get A control?
So G2 reaction onto that so far is they're pinging towards this mount a lot. Yeah, pits could be fairly effective here on the attack side towards B, I would say. So maybe it's to control this mount on the C side to make sure they can punch.
Yeah.
Okay,
well
it's
as
still a pretty
possible
good buy-in
towards
if they
that
can
front
get an
back B
orb.
side.
They could kind of switch this gun across and have Neon ult.
Just beat towards A. They're gonna
Change
put
up from
a C
G2
door
though,
play
just as they're
again.
trying to
City's
adapt to
looking at the
whatever's
door
going on
switch
over
right now. You
towards
can see
A.
the eye ping. Hit and TP out.
Okay, as soon as they see the smoke, they're just like, they see the smoke, they hear nothing over towards A, they're like, well, we can walk out, and now we can do our original stuff. We're doing the smokes here and creating a lot of pressure.
Leaves Leaf over on the right side with Trent there. I mentioned it a bit before. They can leave Leaf
And honestly,
alone.
they've
They
been-
don't tell him to sit back. They don't keep him
Okay.
tempered. I think it might
Dude, he
slow
has
him down
another
altogether.
ult.
Just do what you can to crush the round. When does Jogamo
Yeah,
not have
and
this
they
line?
realize they've locked him in, and
Whether
every
it's
single
a
time, look at
conventional
Valen
drift
again.
or just being able to see the
Just
entire
making
team
sure that
because he's
he
got a good timing.
takes the space as
Incredible
well.
map info.
They did this with
Falls
Leaf
back as
earlier,
well,
they're
so
doing it with
pushing up
Valen
with
now.
Valen.
Now they're
Six Valen
100%
started with
locked
Jogma,
in.
They're trying to hold that A main. Just trying to make sure that Leviathan could stay here towards the A site, have no choice but to hit the A site. They're just trying to waste out the ults so that you don't have too much in the post plant on the side of the attack.
Boom. Rolling Thunder
Oh,
goes
into
through.
tail.
That's just going to be Leaf hanging out. But
Yeah,
man,
Leaf's kinda
there's hell of
chilling.
a force coming out behind Lev right now. They got to work quick and they got to understand it's happening.
Ooh.
Demon 1's going to work a little faster. Tax
Whoa,
with the stinger,
what
gets
the
through
hell?
towards Tree.
They
It
do
is
want to
gonna
hit some
be
shots as
left
well.
alone in the blink of an eye as he was trying to just be the other side of the fight. And that's
Oh
Demon
my
1
goodness,
screaming
bro.
through with a 3K there to
Mate,
bring
he
it right
hit
back
some
to
nice shots on
5-5.
Heaven as
How
well
the heck did he
before
get those
this.
2 kills on the top
Then
of
we
Heaven?
saw the
Good
NA
question.
Stinger being crazy.
But yeah, G2 looked in prime position to start flooding back here from a pincer maneuver on the top of Heaven and towards that tree. Because you've already used 2 big
Oh,
ults
what
on the
the
side of the
hell
attack
is that?
One enemy remaining.
to execute towards the A side, and there you go. Yeah, definitely those shots coming through that replay from Lev.
And that, to be honest.
You should have seen what I did, Heaven, bro. You should have.
I just put a 30 clip in these kids in tree, bro.
Yeah.
They're both like, holy hell, we both did mental stuff.
In interviews with Baby Bay, the vibes are really good around Leviathan, and somehow it's just not a full grasp of what's happening in-game. But so far, it definitely feels within 10 rounds of Lotus that has been ironed out. And now you have the vibes and also the reads to play against G2.
And we got the game here. This is already unexpected. You got G2 on one of their best maps right now, and LEV tying it up. We got a long way to go here, but we're seeing a different LEV already.
I didn't think anyone was going to tank the util.
The way the composition is put together.
And they didn't get through.
Starts to put that to bed here in round 11. As C has been a favorite for Leviathan here.
Already with Demo 1 falling down and a smoke towards the front C site, Leviathan will have to stop and try to play for contact this time around. Seen him tapping on that door, walking through. Jogmo's now full contact, and that might be the execution now for Leviathan. They've already crossed inside the C site, but Crossfire is just way too good for G2
there.
Getting caught up in the crossfire for sure there.
Yeah, let's see if LEV can get one more. I tried to force over towards C, probably not. I couldn't do that again.
Two of the strongest C holders on this one, the way they set up their defense. And that's just going to be a quick, clean round for G2 Esports here. Timeout kind of squished by Leviathan. G2 got to be feeling good.
They're hoping that they weren't going to see too much walking through the entrance of that C site, but as soon as you get spotted by Jogmo and the util comes around to help them out, the salvos really didn't give a chance here for Leviathan to fully get the best trades moving in. Now last round of the half.
As we always spoke about earlier, having that wall to just actually give them a bit of freedom, and we saw the stun. Oh dear God!
No,
oh
bro,
boy!
like
Crowd gave it away.
He gets the kill. Oh, the chaos is already happening. Then they stave off this door push. Smoke's already down, so that's going to stop it. Valen's alone in spawn. They are really spread for how G2 usually like to take this, and this is going to be that firepower they need from each singular player. The star power one from Jonah P. Now we got Jogmo almost pushing into the pit. He's waiting for the drone. A little bit more info and getting that push from Jonah as well. It's going to be King, however, with another kill on the round.
That should be a round now for Leviathan. The pit is covering the whole side of spawn. Very difficult for Valiant to walk back through. All the util to try to scan for information has been taken down as the drone from Trent was trying to scout inside that C site. So much time's been wasted so far, though, Riv.
Oh, they steal away. They steal away another. It's a shame. He's just trying to get like, he's just trying to get a good timing, where he's like good to get like 3.
From Leviathan and G2. What an incredible back and forth.
Towards the end, a pretty decent matchup between these two teams. Nobody's really taking a full upper hand or fully controlling this map so far, or at least the series, as we're still in this first map. But overall, that 6 cents from King to turn around and get the headshot onto Leaf. Could have been an easy 3K there.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, okay. All 4. Thank you!
I mean, isn't that usually what we see people saying about Leaf shots, though? We're going to see a lot more of this game. It's 6-6 as we're going to the break. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, okay.
It's for you. Do you like it?
Shout thank you. Yeah, he might
Charlie,
be thanking the
use
crowd.
your door. Come on, let's go. I said go. Let's go. Silly dog. I'm gonna trade you for a cat. Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Zero is here. 100% wings with monk fruit extract.
LAN will be LAN? Yeah, sometimes you just can't do those plays on LAN. There's just it's just certain plays that you just can't do, that you can do online. He did it at Champs last year too. What, as in said thanks to the crowd? Maybe you need to be less greedy. It was, I don't know. It's just hindsight. If he had let all 4 go, he gets a good position, kills like the 3 that hadn't gone into sight yet. we would have said it's well played. It's just hindsight they turned around. Rexit, just walk, man. Walk and cardio.
G2 versus Leviathan on Lotus for our second series of the day. First half a 6-6 as the Beast has woken up to challenge the Kings of Americas here. And we have been wondering when LEV would surface. They put Demon One back on a duelist and they seem kind of revitalized.
LEV gets pistol, it's on? Oh, for sure.
Definitely
They had a pretty good half,
yeah.
yeah.
For Leviathan, when this roster was built, who's going to play duelist if it's not working out for Demon One? They have a deep agent pool and understanding for each one of these players, but they just have to make it click. So far, it's been looking pretty decent, though. But G2 definitely now this time on the attack.
Ooh.
Already pushing forward his jogging, but separated by
I
the
was
rest
going
of
to
the
say they
team.
have no
So
idea
King
about
scores
King.
the
It's
first
absolutely
blood.
sending it. They're all going to eat this flash. That stun was good. Dude, they might be on for it.
In so fast
Little
there.
double pistol.
Demon One of the rest of the team able to throw down some damage. King picks up the Sheriff, and now they're sitting pretty here at Rubble. Just waiting. Put some more damage through as Demon One and King are ready to attack. They still have the initiators and Valence, so they can make something work here at C.
But look how far we're staying back on the side of the C site, and you look at these.
He's calling for LEV. Well,
peeking every single time, but how passive it is.
we don't really know. We're gonna guess it's Rossi, but sometimes there's just tweets after the game and it's someone else.
Tex plays his life. Easy stuff. They kind of avoid a fault line as well. That's used very early just for the safety of the
There they are, the hive mind.
Pressure G2 feels here, but they do pick up one.
And that drone went all the way back towards spawns. They know that the last three players will be flanking from main. That's going to be a huge responsibility for Jonah P to hold up here.
Yeah, the wall's going to let him cross though.
Trent watching for any water. If they can flex a different position. Ooh, quick right click. Gets that classic to connect onto Demon One. The Aftershock will push out any of the hide spots here, but being dispersed doesn't matter. Does it though? Valen with 21 HP now. He's going up against Tex. Just gonna right click in and he's safe.
Nicely done from Tex. Time, yeah, he's good for it as well. Double pistol.
Could have been a huge run for G2 to start things off. That would have been a 3 versus 5 that Leviathan would have let slip in terms of at least guaranteeing the pistol round, but thankfully Tex on a 1v1 is able to save that. The positioning again was great. The reads coming out from G2 to isolate these fights towards that waterfall, the back of that C site. And it became a brawl that allowed a lot of good util from Leviathan though to fight back in the area. Yes, I mean Demon One's gonna give his life away with the slide, but at least it gets info for the team.
Ian, thank you for staying alive for once, bro. For once.
Hey, I only do it in the match.
Let's go. Oh my gosh. You know, I was just going to praise Ross.
Okay, they should know that G2 they should know that G2 like to force into this one. So
that was huge. They've been actually turning away from the fight a lot
said for once.
After just giving info. It means so much more for that
goodness.
Quick back and forth. C's going to get quite a bit of love here. King answering nicely. Relief with a stinger, incredibly.
Why does this gun look like a...
Look for more as the regen
this gun looks ridiculous sometimes.
Rossi to help as well. Only thing they can pick up is a stinger. So the side of Leviathan
still
showing
though,
no respect to G2.
LEV man up. They got two that are very, very low on HP though.
Now they've lost 2 key components. No flashes to enter the site. No duelists to try to get a fast entry onto Jogimo. So last 3 will just have to work together in tandem on, again, another contact play.
Free sight.
Walking inside the B site.
They got salvos, stun, no omen flash though. Not a good plant for there, so they just clear it, but they can't stay there because obviously the awful plant for it.
Remember on this retake on the first half, 1 member of LEV was alive. They should be able to get through this with a few more bodies here if they can stave off G2. Trent and Valen still push
LEV.
This patience, Trent with a medium to long range.
Oh no, dude. It's a lot up to come, man.
They just about know where everything's about to come from. Are they looking the right way when it happens, though? Com with the first frag in. Valen and Leaf trying to kill from the pit of B here, and that's going to be 2 that they need. Com by himself gets into the site.
It was a nice idea.
Now. Even with this stun going out, not
Yeah,
gonna happen.
it's
Lee
solid
picks it
from
up. That's gonna
G2.
be a second
God, they're
round
so good
win
at them.
coming
The
in here for
success rate
G2.
of the
Almost thought there was too
Stinger
much
buy in
hesitation
the
coming
next
up for
round is
Leviathan on that
so
retake.
high.
They had
It's
two
so,
players staying
so
back
high.
towards that spawn. It worked out pretty well. You're trying to see if G2 is going to try to push forward and fight towards the spawn.
I didn't think Lev handled it that bad. Apart from like maybe the committed swing here.
Find anybody outside of G2. They hesitated too much and tried to work back and go for that pincer maneuver into the post plant.
If they had the salvos, maybe it should have been like jiggle into salvo double swing.
Just not communicating
Right,
well enough here
salvo.
to swing back through the smoke and fight here back on that B site retake. And G2 is able to capitalize.
Maybe they didn't know about the
buy,
like what plan it was, but they had full map control here. Yeah, it's rough.
What? That was a 3v5 again?
Yeah, that was. I was saying if they could get away with a few members, but they get away with no members, and now G2 are going to feel very good here. Jogamo on 3 pips now for the ult. Makes a run in, gets the audio cue over to King, and he's going to TP out. So now you get a little bit of movement on 11. This is exactly what G2 wants, just them.
Yeah, and they can try and get one of these ults online as well, other than the Omen ult. They are one of the better teams with the Omen ult. This is one of the better maps with an Omen ult on attack as well.
On one positions, trying to find the information, not really trying to play for any type of stacks.
Yeah.
The only one they have is towards that C site where, actually, that's where G2's heading towards to.
The patience again. You just see Lev rotating all over the map, not considering that, yeah, that might be the true play, that might
Why
be
is
the
he used so
flank.
bad as Stinger?
They are
So
just
it's literally
trying to
just
get
like
their
a
head wrapped around
micro
this one.
practice
It's gonna be
thing.
the spike at the end with the spike
Right,
going down
because
here
like
and
people in the
around
people in
G2
America
take
started to be
apart the
really
map.
good, right? You kind of had like the C9, the G2 teams, like those two teams. They were just wrecking people with Stingers and Prac. And then obviously when you're getting wrecked by Prac, you're like, we need to get good with this. Then you start using it, you start practicing. But honestly, we don't really have anyone in EMEA that's that good. We've probably got like single-digit players that can actually use it well. So it doesn't really have that little micro meta that they have in Americas.
right in the grinder. Oh my gosh.
It's not the first time that they do these type of plays for G2. I remember on the against Energy, they did something very similar from salvos on the defensive side with a fault line, but from the B site over. So I think more teams playing against G2 have to know that that spot is kind of like a no-go and a no-no to play against G2.
Yeah.
But again, just an eco that you had from Leviathan. We should be in a good spot here with a stronger buy in this round number 16.
Oh, the timing on their plays are just so perfect. When Lev wants to rotate out or get just a different line on things.
Yeah, copy that, buddy. Copy these hands, boy.
Yeah, they're having a lot of fun coming into the second half here, especially with that second round win with the Stinger buy. A push though from Lev. 3 strong out mid here.
Ooh.
Coverage on the side still, but this
Jonah.
needs to work.
Yeah, hard to be ready for that angle. They're so aggro pushed up. Instant reaction is to try push over towards C. There's a nice drop smoke.
Oh, this push up is kind of weird.
Oh, Omen Flash missed this.
And another one from Calm. Oh, he's feeling it. Drops down off the step. Gets the reset on the aim. A 3K coming through. Is Calm going hunting? Where is he at? Oh, he's got ult already. He doesn't need to.
Yeah, Championship Calm is back. He definitely stepped up to the plate against Furia last week as well on Ascent, just dropping multi-kills after multi-kills on the defensive side, and does so again this time around. You've mentioned it, Jogimo didn't look like he was ready, but Calm actually got spun out by the drone that was brought out on the side of Trent, and somehow Calm is still able to come out alive and almost unscathed. And that triple push, I mean, that's very similar to how G2 is playing on Isolate, understanding that there's no true Senti being played this time around from either of these teams.
That's a good point.
So they're just trying to take advantage of these lanes.
Yeah,
where
I
they
mean,
might not
damage
get
is
checked.
important.
Yeah, we see G2 getting around that with basically having Jogamo rotate the outsides of the map as the round goes on. Here, Lev does it as a team.
Exactly, because Jog could actually TP away in those moments.
Exactly.
And now you want to make
very
sure for
nice.
Leviathan that you have a buddy system. So 2 different types
Pinged
of
out
approaches that you're
the
seeing on
Viper
the
stuff?
aggressive
Oh,
defensive
okay.
side for
That's
both
cool.
G2 and Leviathan, but they both turn out to be quite good.
Back to 8-8 Vans. I thought G2 may be able to kind of break out, you know, throw the
Important
game
round
down
time.
and just be like, all right, we've got a few rounds, and now we have the momentum. Once we see those smiles on their faces, it just seems like a whole different game. But LEV is still adapting mid-round, figuring out what to do. And they're able to stave off the singular firepower of the members of G2 as well, which a lot of teams have not been able to do this season. See where they go.
Definitely look like they want to fight
It's the
back
first
here
time
towards
America's
the
has
mount.
used that
Simple
overlay,
stuff
no?
with the fault line and salvos, and King already took control on the top of Rubble.
Hello. What?
What?
It still
36
works.
HP.
Arma getting on top of that, and it catches Trent. A great first blood on the side of Leviathan. And I love that King was just disrespecting.
Yeah, and we gotta
that
start
fight
looking
for
at
one
all
foot
this
first.
money.
It
They
kills me that King is
can't
just
really
doing
buy
this on
after
Omen
this.
when a Yoru there is
36
safer, but
HP,
he's just-
30.
he's back
We've
in
got
comfort.
89.
He's back in a position where he knows what the role
It's
is.
a
completely.
2 full loss bonus
Even
if
though
they do
going down, They
lose.
still trade 2 right now.
But it
and
would
is
be
a
an
very
eco.
wounded G2 to continue the round. So much gain, ground gain by Tex too. So they have all the easy
Oh,
rounds here.
this flash could actually
It's a little bit
get
difficult,
them.
though, for Rossi. He's pretty much by himself.
One enemy remaining.
Just lovely little setup.
3, 4 might follow. They do get the clone.
Very,
still.
very
Demon One's
nice.
able to clean up
Force them
Dogmo
down to an
as
eco. It's gonna be
well.
pretty.
Leviathan
Pretty
are
weak
feeling
low buy.
good. The way they're working off each other, the util use in situations and just adapting to the situation itself, because it's never going to be what you expect, is really good.
It was very nice towards the end here for Demon One to jiggle back towards the broken door, to look back towards the orb. So then he becomes kind of like that bait where they could double swing and fight back in front of Rubble. Right over here, they were so focused on trying to take down Demon One that Rossi was able
Dude,
to
the
get that
tear
bait.
over the Omen flash is
But
kind
you
of
definitely
cool.
saw it from their position before. They had Tex push all the way up here on the front of that C site, watching for the rotate back. So then their gaps were definitely the front of that B site.
You can't
and
like
also
fully
Forte.
see the
So there was a moment for
edges of
G2
like
to
where
take
is
advantage of,
safe.
But unfortunately there for
So you have to
Leviathan,
gamble
they're
a
able to
little
salvage
bit.
now 2 rounds in a row, now take the lead
I like that.
on this map of Lotus.
I think one of the big things for me right now, Vans, is we're seeing one of the first times G2 is not able to dictate the pace of the round. It was like usually everything's on their terms, they're running in, Jog's done a flash, so you're scattered, your crosshair's broken, and the rest of the team are hitting. But they're getting kind of stuck at Rubble, they're getting stuck at Mound, where usually they're pushing forward and right on the front door knocking.
There's
making
no
you
safe
think
space there?
that it
Yeah,
is
I was just
possible.
talking for like other
They're
plays.
taking away that advantage, the opportunities that G2 usually
have to just
has
run
with
forwards.
Leviathan.
We definitely felt
But he
high
would have been
so
able
far
to
from
like
Leviathan's win last week,
look at
especially
it
if you
Yeah.
and
tuned
see
into,
that
the
there, well,
Cal stream,
he
it
could have
got
gone
quite
here, but obviously it
entertaining
would have
with,
hit him in
Leviathan's
time.
roster on
Do you
that
get what I
desk,
mean?
but
With the
at the
Omen,
same time,
you're like
Furia
more
was the
likely
only
to try
team
and
that they were
gamble.
able to beat so far
Right.
in
Grain of salt.
2025.
Like you're more likely to try
Right, they
run
started
into this
kickoff play
corner
against Furia, beat them. Then they lost
because you
against,
can't see it.
every other team they played against,
Then you
being
are to 100%
C9,
look at it,
MFR,
know,
G2.
and then realize you got to
Then
go
win
out
against
here
Furia
and
again, but
chill.
now a big test, the biggest test to come
Like
up
the
here.
Omen flash on top of that's
They
kind of
have
cool.
to win against G2. They have to win against NRG into next week.
Okay, another
Stand a
stinger.
chance to make it
Another
into the
stinger by
playoffs.
4 of them.
And what a game it would be to take down the undefeated team, to get you back on track, to get the team feeling like this is the process that works. It's confidence.
Yeah.
Can't say anything else about it if you beat these guys. Demon One already beating the odds here towards the A site. Oh,
The timing is so
relay
unlucky.
Just out of time there as Valen catches a window.
Oh, speaking of timing, what are they doing? They're running at them.
Valen still able to do
They're
the
looking like
close
they got
quarters combat
stingers.
in favor of G2. Quick paranoia to give King a little bit of breathing time here, but it is the pit that he is staring into and has to wonder how many foes are just on the other side. Okay. They're saying we're coming out of the pit. It is time to go aggressive right now. G2 wants to show
great
that they are in
ult from
control
them.
of the game no matter what. Rossi. Oh.
It's 2.
Rolling Thunder back, but they're not really able to act off it too well. They're
Yeah, I just feel like the
hiding in
Viper
pit on
ult's
the
too
side of
strong
G2
here, even if they
makes it
get
tough.
those kills.
1-for-1 on this. Trent and Leaf now up against Tex, and how good is that aim, Tex?
I think I'm really really messed up.
Shorty is the right
Wasn't too
play,
mad
but
about
still
Demon
he's
One.
gotta go
I felt like he just got
searching so
unlucky with
much.
timing.
He's already taken down by some spam here. What a round from G2. Again, thriving in the chaos. Is just a glimmer of hope there at the end, but Leaf's able to get the win. 9-9 now. G2's
Dude, they're
timeout
so good on the
striking
stinger
The
rounds.
confidence they have on the side of G2. Looking at each
Whoa.
other's backs, 2 of them fully stunned by the Rolling Thunder out
Yeah.
from Rossi, and Trent and Jonah being work in tandem to make sure that Rossi cannot get any value out of his Rolling Thunder. The execute was perfect, trying to fight through with aggression through the smoke. The stinger by
Be
once
okay
again
to
from
push
G2,
like this? I think he
but
knows.
this time converts into a
I didn't see
victory
the
on their
util
side.
over towards door. If he knows that door is 100% clear because of the util, then maybe it's okay.
And manner to get the round win. And Jogs already giving
And
more
nice
away.
shot.
Leaf goes down.
And he's got a body now as well to protect him from the ult. Ult goes over towards C, and this is going to get really weird.
Yeah, and then Dogmo has 0 value. Information of where the players
Yeah,
can
now-
be towards that spawn, thinking that they gave up that spawn.
Now
But
King's
instead
out
they're
on
running
his own.
towards the mound.
His mate's gone.
Yeah, they're pushing out, knowing King has something. They're trying to take a second fight, another front here, and it is going to be Valen getting the kill. Armageddon is used on
And
this, and
Jogamo, this
Jogamo
is
just
good from him.
wreaking havoc back in spawn on Lev's side.
Getting better with his ults. He's
They
getting
know. They
better.
knew exactly where Tex was. Not seen any heads up on
God,
his
so
platform.
unlucky. Forced him down
It's
to an
gonna be
eco
that
as well.
LOP coming through,
Dude,
and
if
now it is just calm to find his way around
they
the
didn't
flank.
have the
Where else
stinger
would he be?
rounds to rely
10
on,
and 14 not too
Lev
bad.
had
This game
that.
set some very clutch
but
rounds
now
for
it's
the
going to be
squad.
really, really
Looks
rough.
like he'll go ahead and save the Phantom on this one.
Yeah, again, when Jogman was pinging for watch out towards the defender spawn, they might have fallen back towards that area after the ult came through from Dogmo, thinking that G2 was going to hit towards his B site. But when he throws that clone back towards C and Tex shoots it, that was actually the cue here for the rest of G2 to make sure that they clear
So
out the
reduce
mount
damage on Teo
as
and
well as he
teammates?
could.
Yeah, of
They
course.
did it with an Armageddon to isolate King and have, what, 2 individual 3-versus-1 situations to enter towards that C site. So
Exactly.
it looked chaotic in the very beginning with a nice first blood from Demon 1 onto Leaf, but then after that, G2 adjusted quite well. You have to give it for Demon 1, though, for him to just disrespect the dimensional drift, to peek out behind that.
Did Jogamo have any issues with his ults since you mentioned he's getting better at them? He had absolutely atrocious Yoru ults. There was a... Honestly, in kickoff, I would say probably 10 out of 10 of his fast ults I saw, he would just have a shorty and try 1v1 the person with no util.
A few rounds of timeout, trying to get control of the game and just get a bug in the ear of the player.
So
that he
they're
can get a
definitely
sword
getting
here.
better.
And Lev
Sometimes
may
he even
need
puts the TP down to like give him a way out as well, so he doesn't have to commit.
And that may happen here. Now 10-9 as we get close to closing out our first map here on Lotus. What a map already.
I want to make sure that they could get the best value as possible. I mean, the money isn't the best here for Leviathan. The only thing they have is that rifle save from Calm from that previous round, and everybody around
Lev had
that
a really
don't
good
have too
chance.
much to work with.
Double pistol,
So the timeout rather
winning
being
a good
called by
amount of the buy
Guys
rounds.
to try to bring it closer if G2 is going to capitalize this round quite easily, or should be easy when they have the better weapons to work with against Leviathan. They're so far away from good ults, with the exception of
I think
Texas
Yoru
Vipers.
is a need to be
Just
duelist.
had that Rolling Thunder
I mean,
used that
Yoru
G2 was
is
able to
Yoru's
snuff out,
insanely
so they're
strong
trying to
right
build
now.
that back up.
Yoru and ISO
Tex
are
can
like
get an ult,
very,
maybe they
very
can
strong
stave
out of
off
all
a
the
push here
duelists.
and force G2 to a certain site, but can you force G2 to do anything once they figure out the strategy on the map? That's the question. 3-0 says no.
I mean, he might get wrecked here, no?
We'll see if
Okay, it's punish.
G2 can answer what the fans want. Control towards
Do they even
the
have the
There's
guns to
already
lay
4
punish?
players
Give me a
from
lot down
Leviathan
to
on this
Demon 1
side.
to absolutely
Just
send
waiting
it.
for the first wave of
Roman
troops.
Flash
Blood
goes
back out.
in,
But
stun.
ready.
Looking for the ace. Not going to be able to get it unless he has a railgun to fire all the way over towards G2.
Okay.
The walls on this one, but at this point, just hit him with the gimme, ladies and gentlemen. What a round from the fragging IGL. It's never a question. It's never an ebb and a flow. It's always there for Valen. And now they're going to find out. Leaf says, he's back here. He's back here. Valen's like, all right, I'm going to try to flank him.
Let me try to get my
What was I
ults that
saying?
already have.
Oh, I was thinking that. I was trying to work out how Lev would win the round.
Oh, Tex is so good at that, too. He is so good at shutting that down. A 4K for Valen, smiles all around for G2.
Yeah, and I'm looking at where the Lev stun was, and it looks like they had no idea he was out.
Definitely would be for this round. I think you're bringing up a great point. Off the timeout, usually you see like some of these coaches call timeouts. You're trying to get some good crap plays out of refreshable utility. So Leviathan had the correct read.
Yeah.
4 players stacked towards that side to try to fight back in the first place. But the fact that Valen stayed alive and got 4 kills in the process. Yeah, the fact that he got 4 kills in the process and still stayed alive against the trap play.
That was a nice little side-by-side
timeout was
replay.
also important for this round here for Leviathan.
Okay, this is, I mean, this is everything right here.
So lots of util being used towards the rubble. An ult from the Viper's Pit on that C site. And now you can just leave King inserted on the top of the rubble and now focus on fighting both initiators with the
What
Neon
else have they
to try
got?
to
Omen ult
stop
on
the
attack
G2
and that's
push.
it.
But
We
they're
got
gonna have
Viper
to
on
fall back
defense,
slowly
insta
in this
used.
round for G2. It's going to have to be some good calling from Valen.
Teammates, yeah.
A lot of util just to get through this smoke right here. Relay bolts thrown back. It's really just a re-clear to see what's there. They're faking this B, maybe? Oh no,
They
they're faking.
faking.
This B. They
Looks
get
like a
right
big
inside, but
commit.
Dog's not ready with the util
Dude,
behind.
Demon
He's
One's
actually left timed out on that
absolutely
one.
scented.
Leviathan
And
give
did Rossi just have
G2 back
the most
around it.
incredible
They just
stun?
served Lev.
Wait,
How
was
is this
he?
game continuing to go like this? It seems like the momentum is grabbed and then
Looked like he hit
absolutely
3 with the stun.
snuck back the other way when you least expect it
I
here.
respect everyone
Trent
going behind it.
all alone in a
30
1v5.
seconds left.
Oh man, the high lows, the swing out on contact, everything here to stop this from going right.
Oops.
And
Damn,
Rossi
sick
picks up
round
the
from
3K,
Rossi. What was it?
starts
Was
to
he
actually build
here
up
and
that
then
rolling
everyone
thunder.
went
We
out from
talked about
here?
how far they were away from ult, so getting good priority kills on the right members.
It's definitely nice from G2 to fake out towards the A side. They went for the double salvo just onto the rubble, forced out the relay bolt and the paranoia out from Demon 1 and King. So they're like, okay, well, there's
Oh no, he
less
just
people
did
to
it
work with
straight
for
and
them
then
to
sent
try
it
to fight
through.
back towards the B site. But when
Oh,
you
that's
have
a-
Demon 1 not
that's
care
an
about
absolute
util,
play.
just sliding in and getting kills like that.
I know the coaches are so mad, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because you're trying to drop so much, and then you have just Rossi and Demon 1 popping through and snuffing out the B site fake. Or the A site fake to B. Just very, very nice round on the defense for Leviathan. Now, 1 round separating these two teams, closing that gap. Leviathan 1 away from tying things up. And very similarly, to take control of the rubble. Already used up the paranoia, though, but at least this time
Oh,
around,
they might be
there
able to use
help.
drops.
See, Rossi's trying to affect the fight all the way over from back of B. You
But
see
if
him
they
set
did
up the
lose
fall line,
it,
looking right at the rest of the team
6K,
over at A rubble.
6K,
Like they are
eco,
looking to
eco.
assist each other from everywhere.
This would
What's
be a drop.
happening
This
in
would be like a
G2 again,
guardian
do
or
this
something.
bit of the A
Maybe
push,
double
like you said
guardian.
last round, and now they will focus on where Tex is.
Yeah, they know that it's a soft side towards C. Orb now being picked up on the attack. TP in. Tex has to delay as much as he could.
Oh my god, that flash.
Flash not good.
The flash was incredible, though. The timing of it is nuts.
Cutting the pies, getting into sight.
Just as he
A door
peeked.
hit here is trying to slow him down from the side of Com. He's going to spam through as he takes spam himself. And man, they are just trading full rounds on each other here where they have complete control, pacing,
The breach util's been kind of sick at the moment.
Seems like nobody
Past
can get
couple of
real
rounds.
footing.
Yeah, just unfortunate timing coming out here from Tex. Him being the weak side on C, he was trying to go for some hero play, trying to find
Player standing.
at least an opening.
Yeah.
But when you lose your life right away like that, it makes it so difficult for the rest of Leviathan to rotate over when they had so much
Okay,
pressure
2
on that rubble
chances.
side first.
And considering we got
picked
2
off
and
one
0
by
in the
one.
pistols as well,
Unfortunately
it's impressive.
G2, well, they're on their way to make this 9-0 in terms of their record on Lotus. Thankfully, there's still good money
Definitely a
left
little
for
jump to
Leviathan.
spot.
Right, that's a big, big one that they can get a full buy-in here. The question is, do they go aggressive? Does Demon 1 go kind of ham this round?
With an op, might be difficult,
Oh,
but
he does have an op, but he is going to be the only one C, a different setup for them.
Will, Element.
they're going back for the triple walk down towards B.
Yeah.
Okay, Demon 1 gets the
This
op
time
out.
not with Palm, though.
And you would imagine Leaf's in trouble.
Oh, they call it right, Vans. And Leaf has an inkling. He's wondering, he's like, nah,
He in
I
trouble?
don't want this right away. He lets the rest of the team
Ah, he
make
looks like he's
more
in trouble.
noise. He's not looking just right. What a peek. King times that one out. He's been so good at these little creeper rounds, getting the 1v1 situations as the hit towards tree goes through, and Lev starts to rotate.
Yeah, and all they can do here is hold back towards the tree, hold back towards heaven. This is good. Give a chance here for Demon 1 to start rotating over when it's confirmed the plant is coming towards A.
Oops.
They're really backing up here.
Jonah P has
Remember, you have
all.
an operator coming in for Demon 1. I
Do
wonder if
they
even try to
feel like
switch
they
that
need
out,
to-
give them a
okay.
Vandal that might be hanging around.
It's a
A lot of
nice
this is
ult
good because
though.
they're still waiting for
Ult
Demon 1,
covers
so they're
higher
not too
and
worried
lower.
to see that Rolling Thunder just now. Oh, That's about all the util you get for this
Yeah.
round from both teams.
The
At
problem
least
is
on
the,
side of G2,
the
I
timing of
should
the
say. LEV
salvos.
still has that
They
retake,
could have got back there.
making their way in.
because of the
Jogmo
one-way.
and the rest of the team have all focused
Oh,
their backside
Valen,
of
what
sight.
the hell?
Valen basically getting a collide on that one. Demon 1 still comes in. The operator's big, but is it going to be enough time? Spike goes on pretty fast tick right now, and it's not going to be enough. The defuse going to happen. They know he's on,
Unlucky.
and
Demon
that's
1
gonna
gave
be
it a
the
good
final
go.
round for G2.
Okay, shout out to
That's gonna be
G2 again.
Lotus
Double
going to
pistol, like
G2.
losing double pistol and being up to
Great
13-10.
finish on
This is
first match,
impressive.
chaotic in the end.
This is one of the better
But you
performances
mentioned
I've
the
seen
util
from
coming
LEV,
back
even
from the
though
side
they
of
want double
Leviathan.
pistol.
They were pretty good, but unfortunately the paranoia misses too much. It gives a chance here
Yeah.
for G2 to